Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This time I want to talk about price mechanism. Price mechanism. And price mechanism basically refers to how the forces of demand and supply freely interact to determine prices of all goods and services in a free market economy. Now, how are prices determined in a free market economy? You see, in a free market economy, remember that it is the forces of demand and supply that allocate all resources. So government doesn't come in. Government doesn't come in. So in a situation where demand exceeds supply, there will be a shortage of the commodity. When there's a shortage, the price will rise. And as the price begins to rise, supply begins to increase. Supply begins to increase. But when the price has gone up, demand begins to decrease. The process will continue until demand gets to the same level with supply. And in that case, we say the market is in equilibrium. On the other hand, when supply exceeds demand, then we experience a surplus. And in this case, the price will fall. Because the price has fallen, some sellers will refuse to sell. So what it means is that the level of supply will be decreasing. Supply will be coming down, and then demand will be increasing because the price has come down. The process will continue until the two market forces get to the same level. And then we say the market is in equilibrium. So, without much ado, let's talk about market equilibrium. Now, what do you mean by market equilibrium? This refers to a situation where quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. And then, if equilibrium is achieved, the market will be stable. The market will be stable. In actual fact, equilibrium refers to a state of stability. So, for instance, if the price is at 10 cedis today, you expect that it remains at the same level at 10 cedis for some time. It shouldn't happen that today the price is 10 cedis, tomorrow 15, the next day 20, and then it's just fluctuating like that. And we can talk of equilibrium. So that is why equilibrium is also defined as a situation where there is no tendency for change. When equilibrium is achieved, the situation will what? Persist over a period of time. So, in short, what we are saying is that at equilibrium, demand is equal to supply. And then, yes, so at equilibrium, demand is equal to supply. And in short, when demand exceeds supply, there's shortage. And when there's a shortage, price rises. On the other hand, when supply exceeds what? Demand, then there's a surplus. When there's a surplus, the price will what? Will fall. So, to understand this better, let's look at the table on the screen. So now, from this table, we have both demand and supply schedules. And equilibrium price is 7 because at the price of 7, demand and supply are equal. At the price of 7, demand is 90, supply is also 90, meaning that the market is at equilibrium when the price is 7. So 7 is the equilibrium price, and then 90 is termed as the equilibrium quantity. And the question we normally ask is, now, at the price of 9, what happens? At the price of 9, demand is 70, supply is 110. And then at the price of 6, demand is 100, but then supply is 80. So, what do we experience? At the price of 9, we experience a surplus of 40. Supply exceeds demand by 40. But at the price of 6, we experience a shortage of 20. Good. So, again, if equilibrium is achieved, the situation will persist over a period of time. All right. Now, illustrating this information on a graph, we obtain something like this. So from this graph, PE is our equilibrium price. And remember, the point of intersection. The point of intersection is the equilibrium point. And we all know that graphically, when two lines intersect, it means at that point, their values are the same. So at the equilibrium point, demand is equal to supply. So the corresponding price is equilibrium price, and the corresponding quantity is the equilibrium quantity. At the price of P1, we are experiencing a shortage because demand is exceeding supply. So that's a shortage situation. By the price of P2, we are experiencing a surplus since supply is rather exceeding demand. Good. Now, what happens when there's a change in demand? Remember, changes in demand can either be an increase in demand or a decrease in demand. Then after that, we also look at the effect of changes in supply over the equilibrium price. So now, for the changes in demand, first, let's look at an increase in demand. An increase in demand refers to a shift of the demand curve to the right. So, from the screen, the demand curve will shift to the right. That's an increase in demand. So this will be our new equilibrium point. And tracing it to the vertical axis, we can see that the price has increased. And then from the horizontal axis, we can see that quantity has also increased. So an increase in demand will cause an increase in price and then an increase in quantity demanded. And as you know, there are several factors that can cause an increase in demand. And among the factors that can cause an increase in demand include increase in consumers' real income, increase in population, and then a change in taste in favor of the commodity and what have you. Now, let's talk about a decrease in demand. A decrease in demand. A decrease in demand rather refers to an inward shift of the demand curve. An inward shift of the demand curve. So the demand curve will shift inwards to the left. And the question is, what are the effects? The effects are one, a decrease in price, and then a decrease in quantity supplied. So a decrease in demand, a shift of the demand curve to the left. And then as a result, so this will be our new equilibrium. Tracing it to the vertical axis, you can see that the price has fallen. And then from the horizontal axis, you can see that the quantity has what? Has decreased. And that is the effect of a decrease in demand on the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. Now let's talk about increase in supply. An increase in supply refers to a shift of the supply curve to the right. Supply curve will shift to the right. And the factor that can cause an increase in supply could be improvement in technology. When we discover better or modern methods of production, new methods of production, other things being equal, supply will increase. And this will cause supply curve to shift to the right. Or in the case of agricultural products, when we experience a very good weather, that can also lead to an increase in supply. But as indicated early on, our interest is to look at the effects. So, from the screen, the effects are, remember, increase in supply. Supply curve will shift to the right. That is, there is, let me say, increase in production. So, supply curve has shifted to the right. As a result, the equilibrium price has fallen. And then, quantity demanded has what? Increased. So the effects are increase in quantity supplied, but then a decrease in the price. So an increase in supply leads to a decrease in equilibrium price, but then an increase in quantity demanded. And then finally, let's look at a decrease in supply. A decrease in supply. Now, a decrease in supply relates to a shift of the supply curve to the left. So let's take note. a shift of the curve to the right is an increase, but then a shift of the curve to the left is a decrease. So a decrease in supply refers to a shift of the supply curve to the left. And the factors that can cause a decrease in supply include increase in cost of production, and then government policy such as taxation. If government decides to impose more taxes on the production of a commodity, this can discourage producers from producing more, and that will cause the supply curve to shift to the left as seen on the diagram. So a decrease in supply curve shift to the left, and in this case the price will rise. Of course, when producers are not producing more, when supply is less, then the price will what? Will rise. Price will rise, and quantity demanded will fall. Quantity demanded will